Hey everyone, it's Brent and John and Jeff.
Hi.
Yeah,
Yes, that is correct. So anyway,
we're excited.
this is another exciting
Exciting
episode
that.
of the Dinnerman and Associates podcast, starring
The people you just heard about.
John,
Yay!
Now with less talking over each other. Because apparently we noticed that in the editing, or it was like a lot
like someone heard that going on and knew what was gonna happen, and guess what? I just interrupted you again. To example that.
Hey, Jeffrey! No.
So
we're done
yes.
too, so screw you.
Anyway, as I was saying, welcome to our podcast. Tonight I am our
You're the head
quoi.
host.
I'm our little something special, or unspeakable thing. Anyway, yeah. So Jeff came up with a decent topic that I enjoyed about possibly talking about our favorite video game moments, or moment, like that one event in video game that kind of just defined either your childhood or your adolescence or your, hey, I just picked up Injustice and there was this cool cutscene that I liked. So yeah, without further ado,
I was gonna say now, Jeff, you came up with that right off the bat. Like, you were like, I want to do this. So I feel like you immediately have like several that you're just like, okay, I need to bring this up immediately.
No, there is one though that has defined my childhood, and it has to do with the N64.
Oh, I think I know.
may I? Just 1 second. So for the record, spoilers, possibly, throughout this. Because if it's a defining moment, there may be a chance that it was a defining moment in the game as well.
And also remember, I haven't played a lot of retro video games. I haven't played classic video games as much as you guys have. Like, I mean, I've played classic video games, just not
You just don't finish
the classic. No, like not the classics. Like, you gotta remember, I haven't played. When I downloaded Star Fox onto your computer, I had no idea how to play it.
Alright, did you
Remember,
ever finish
Once I got 10 points in Pong.
That was him.
Did you ever finish Legend of Zelda?
Me and Jamie are working on that.
That's
Cause
Mario 64.
let me explain. Because me and Jamie were playing it because actually no, Mario 64 wasn't the game that Mario 64. I've played Mario 64.
So you've beaten Mario 64.
I've beaten Mario. I've Mario'd Mario 64. I've beaten Mario 64. That was a childhood one I beat.
Okay.
You went through all the paintings?
Yes.
Did you find the secret cake that lets you play as Yoshi?
That's not a thing.
Did you
it?
beat the last Bowser?
It's been so long.
The final
I remember the piano.
Bowser.
The fucking piano.
It's the final
When you walk in and all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a piano.
Okay, yes.
Well, that was loud.
Wow, that
Okay,
just
okay.
peaked.
Well, you clapped right at the microphone. What
I
did
didn't
you
need
think was
to.
going to happen?
And back on track.
Okay, so can I go back to my moment?
Before I finish. Now, what I was gonna say.
Wait, he said before he finishes, so you should go.
No,
No,
I'm not.
Go on.
Alright.
Go on, we know what you meant.
Let me continue before you go.
Go On's a good show, by the way. It's coming back for a second season. You should watch it.
Derailing the train of thought. Yeah. What I was saying was it's me and Jamie, my girlfriend Jamie, obviously. We were
Obviously.
because exposition, clarification. We both were playing The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and she knows the game like the back of her hand, very
I've
well,
seen
so
that
to speak.
before.
And God damn it, Brent.
Go on, damn
No,
it.
we were like, I'm sitting there playing it with her, and the most I remember is the Forest Temple because I have it on my 3DS. That's all. And my good buddy Jeff here a while ago lent me the GameCube version, which is the one I'm playing through now with the Master Quest and all that stuff. And every time we were sitting there, she knew where to go immediately. And I'm sitting like, how the fuck do you know this? And she's like, memory? I'm like, okay.
Well, for different games, you have like a different mindset. Like, there's some games where you have to think about like where the boss's weak point would be. Like, but like when I play in 64, I'm like, oh, that's a thing, and I go over that like wall over there. I punch it, and I punch the wall. And it's like, magical chest appeared. And everyone's
sorry.
like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, Jeff. Sorry to interrupt you, but like, no, there's a reason why. Like, I just want to go. I want to go back in time, like to back when you were like 3 playing the N64. Just walking, you're sitting there. That's a thing.
I was a little older than 3 when the N64
Okay, not
came
3.
out.
Like, okay, well,
buddy.
how old would you say?
You can
I
buy.
don't know. I'm gonna get 7 or 8 when the
Okay,
N64
fine.
came out.
7 or 8. Then you just walk in, see you 7 or 8. That's a thing.
That's a thing. Asterisk punch asterisk is now available.
And then
on
your
our
brother,
show.
and then your mom comes in. How the hell did you find that?
Yes, I can exactly picture that.
Okay.
Continue.
Anyway, this is actually when the N64 came out, and my favorite game of all time, maybe, I don't know, it's in the top at least, is Star Fox 64. Yes, I know.
I know where this is going.
I don't think you do. But so I was it was like the first week or two that the Nintendo 64 came out, and I got Star Fox, and I'm playing it, and I almost reach the end, and I just like go to my mom. I'm like, hey, can I stay up late and play this? And she's like, no, you have to go to sleep. I'm like, damn it. And then for the first mischievous time in my life, I go to my dad like, hey, can I stay up and play? He's like, all right, I guess.
Okay.
And so I'm up to like really late, like 12 or 1, and I'm playing it. And this is the first time I've ever played a 3D game, so this is just mind-boggling to me. And I get to Andros, and so when you get to Andros, it's a fast. Star Fox 64 is a fast-paced game. You're like shooting, you're dodging, you're moving around.
It was like, okay, all right. Fair enough.
And this is one side of the planet. There's 2 ways to fight Andros in that game, and this is the I'll show you. I'll tell you about the one I did in my first time. And you get through this tunnel, and he's like taunting you and stuff. So I'm like already tensed up, and you get there, and there's this giant monkey face with these 2 giant hands, and my mouth goes. And all of a sudden, there's after images of like my plane I was moving, so it looks like so I feel like I'm moving slow. I'm like, what's going on here? Oh dear God! And then he just tries to eat your plane, and like, no.
Did you have nightmares after that? Like
I did not, but let me tell you, it gets worse.
Oh no!
Because I'm fighting it, I finally figure out what to do, and I kill it, and he like Andros like dies like, oh, and he shakes his head and explodes, and I'm like, finally. And then in this part, which I did, he comes back as a giant robotic monkey head that starts snapping at you like a giant mechanical demon Pac-Man, and I just freak. Oh! And I'm just dodging, and I'm shooting, and I'm just pressing buttons. I look like John when he plays a fighting game.
No, actually, the best.
Let me finish.
I was going to say the best.
I know what you're going. I know you're going to say something. I know where you're going to say something, but let me finish.
Okay, fine. He's so into the story.
It's my story, and I want to finish. Since you've interrupted me 5 times, which you said you would stop.
I know.
And you've said let me finish. So shut up, John.
So into the moment.
Anyway, God, those spikes. Anyway, so I finally just kill the bastard. And I'm just like, I'm sweating as an 8-year-old. I haven't done anything but play a video game, and this is not me fat and like lazy now. This is me like an actual child. And I'm just like, what did I just do? This is my life now. And it's great for me because I have this like hand condition that I like. It's harder for me to do things with like more precise with my hands. So if I didn't, I couldn't play
Carpal
with little, no, not carpal tunnel, with little like Legos.
Rheumatoid arthritis.
What the hell did I just say? Like 5 seconds ago, John. Let me finish.
So carpal tunnel. All right.
I couldn't play with little Legos when I was a child. I just I couldn't hold them. They would fall on my hands. I would just be pissed at that. So I'd play with the big Legos.
Why?
And then I love creativity. I love watching. I love artists and I love artistry. I just wish I could do it, but I can't. So anyway, but just like being able to do this in a video game with like the mechanics is tougher for me then I'd say it would be like someone who didn't have this. I don't even remember the name of the condition because I don't. It's not a big condition, but just like it irks me. Anyway, but then just like you fly away, and it's just like it was the greatest moment in my childhood for video games. Just like flying into the sunset after I just accomplished that. And now I am finished with the story.
Okay.
So now I would just like to point out something going back to what you said was the fact that
I'm looking at you.
it was like one of the that came out like one of the first like week or 2 weeks after the N64 actually came out and stuff.
Was I wrong?
And no, I mean I don't think so, but like I had a thought because I was talking to John before about like games that launch with the system, and that was definitely one of the earlier games for the N64, and it was awesome. And for Xbox 360, let's not talk about that now. Because you have N64, you get like Star Fox and Mario 64 and all that. Xbox, you got Blinks the Time Sweeper. And I don't know if anyone remembers Blinks the Time Sweeper, but you're basically Doctor Who as a cat, and you go around vacuuming up time warps and things, and it was hysterical. But, I mean, most people don't remember it versus people who remember Star Fox, and I think it was just funny. Think about that, like, just that dynamic that you have, like, oh, N64, which is supposed to be a lesser system, quote, unquote, air quotes, sarcasm, and then you have the Xbox, which was good in its day. Oh, Oblivion.
Well, I mean, to be fair, also, what was it? Halo was meant also... I mean, it wasn't like a launch title, but it was meant to be like one of the flagship games for the Xbox itself. They may have had...
it turned out to be the only thing it had.
No. Burnout 3 Takedown.
Oh, yes.
Burnout fucking 3. I still have that copy sitting in my shelf.
Yeah, but it's a sequel, so it doesn't count.
It's a sequel, so, yes, it's a sequel, but it's still one of the more memorable games of the Xbox, and I will give it that. There's also Battlefield...
But I mean, like, what PlayStation-only titles are there?
Max Payne. The original Max Payne before it went over to Xbox.
I like how you just immediately shot down your own argument.
I know, I shot down my own argument.
Like, right after, until it went over to the Xbox.
Okay.
Most things that are in PlayStation All-Stars, actually.
Wait, PlayStation only, or...
Like, yeah, I was saying...
Crash Bandicoot?
You've got Crash Bandicoot, you've got
Spyro.
Infamous. Well, no. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro ended up selling out in the end, but
they were original
Infamous and I believe the God of War series, right, is still PlayStation.
I think that's Xbox.
No, God of War is PlayStation.
You're right.
God of War is still PlayStation. You've got the Metal Gear series. Has that?
They went on the
Metal
way.
Gear is on the Xbox now too.
Yeah, it is. And also they
because of Raiden.
They did sell the rights.
Why Metal Gear Raiden? Why?
They sold the rights for the Wii for Brawl as well. So technically, it is there. But Hideo Kojima was like, he essentially was just like, Snake in Brawl. Do you like it? There you go.
I mean,
no. Honestly, I wasn't meaning it to knock Xbox because that was my first Ultra Super system, and I didn't have a PlayStation 3 until recently.
My Ultra system...
It's pretty awesome.
My Ultra system... Hang on, Jeff. My first system was the Sega Genesis, and then I went from that to, I believe, a PlayStation. Put your hand down, Jeffrey. Then I went from... I can see you out of the corner of my eye. I went from Sega Genesis to PlayStation, and then my grandma got me a Sega Dreamcast, which I played, and that's where I'm gonna tie in one of my most like iconic memories of video gaming: Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, because of I forget. I think it was Sonic Adventure 2, the City Escape level. With the rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rain. Yeah. But that level is possibly one of the one of the most memorable moments in my childhood when it comes to gaming. I would actually sit there and play that level for an hour on repeat. I remember timing it. I would be in the basement just playing that level because it was so goddamn fun, and I would just try and beat my score over and over again.
It was a fun level.
Yeah, and eventually it got to the point where me and my friend Matt, who, of course, I haven't spoken to in ages, we used to play the game, and we got all the way to the end of the game, where we got to play as Supersonic and...
Shadow.
What was this? No, it was like the equivalent of Supersonic, but like Super Shadow, whatever.
It's just Shadow.
Fair enough. But
I guess you could call him Super Shadow.
Shadow is always super.
no, he's just a recolor of Shadow.
There's just not real a name for Super Shadow. I guess you could call it Super Shadow. I guess there may be just Super Shadow, but I just like, oh, there's Shadow and there's Sonic.
But yeah, that's one of them. Of course, I'm going to go into many other ones, but we're going to go around in a circle when we talk about more of our favorite video game moments.
But yeah, Jeff, you had something to say?
I just wanted to ask a question, which is why I had my hand raised instead of interrupting people.
Go on.
Star Wars: The Old Republic, was that Xbox only when it first came out?
Knights of the Old Republic?
Yes.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Well, Xbox and PC.
Okay, yeah.
Again,
Technically, that still counts as the whole Microsoft emporium.
that's a game I did not play.
The
So,
Microsoft empire.
like, Andrew and Eric, another guy who we work with at
At our job.
our job, yeah. I know.
Because unfortunately, we don't get paid enough to just do this all the time.
I know. But
Hint, hint, internet.
Leave them alone.
that's on us.
Your move, fan community.
All three of you.
295 actually, but regardless, that counts too.
All three of you will
Wow.
watch us.
That just please edit that out. That made us seem extremely desperate.
Don't
right
worry,
there.
I will.
Okay.
So anyway, about that sports.
Sounds like a demon.
Anyway, about that sports team with the video games.
What?
No, I was trying to segue it with random things.
Rangers?
Yeah. So Star Wars: The Old Republic. You said
that's
you did play
yeah.
that.
That's a game I did not play. Sorry for interrupting, but that's a game I did not play, and like, I know that's one of the games that apparently I should have played, but I didn't.
Did you have an Xbox?
Did you like
I
it?
did. I have it on my PC.
Okay.
I got it for $2. Haven't touched it.
Well,
It's a really fun game. You should play it.
I played it. I
Go
played
on.
it. You want me
No,
your Xbox?
I don't mean you. I meant.
Okay.
He's looking at
yeah.
you but talking.
Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, I've seen your list of Steam games. You Steam whore.
Yes. I will pull it up right now so you can see.
I
all
don't care. I see. Look at look at just the list right here. We don't have to see the entire thing. We're seeing it. It's just out the ass. You just. If you didn't buy half these games, you'd be able to pay me back for the trip we're going on. Anyway.
I'll have enough. Don't worry.
Anyway. So I actually wanted to bring up that I don't actually like console-only games, just because like I feel like, all right, I guess that's okay. I guess that's a marketing ploy and everything, but
A marketing ploy.
not ploy, but like okay. I guess that's like.
You mean like exclusive, like
yeah, I don't
console exclusives?
I just don't like
just
that,
to
'cause
one.
It's
I
the
understand
incentive.
I wouldn't want to play Saints Row the Third on like the Wii
Right.
because I don't want to try and hit someone with a purple dildo with the Wii
Well,
remote because that would
right.
be awkward.
I mean, Jeff, let's put it into perspective here.
Awkward or groundbreaking
One,
game?
If you're playing
Your move, Nintendo.
let's put
How
this.
many moves are you just gonna throw out tonight?
Let's put
I don't know.
the one because we only edited the other one out.
The only other one.
Let's put it into perspective, Jeff. Saints Row the Third is a game primarily meant for like the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation because of its graphics, its engine that it's like built in, and also the fact that the Wii wouldn't be up to speed on that. It doesn't have a high enough processing power. It doesn't really run well
Didn't
for a
stop
game.
it for Arkham City.
That's the Wii U.
All right, whatever. So you're saying that it can process the Batman Arkham City, but can't process Saints Row the Third?
It could process the Batman Arkham City onto this video game in the Nintendo. No.
Why am I an old man?
Because you just sounded like one. No, but I was gonna say like I thought you were talking about the Wii, like the actual Wii. If you mean the Wii U,
I mean the entire system because I don't really count
That
the Wii
doesn't-
U as a different system because it's part of the same package.
It's a different... No, it isn't. It's a different system entirely. The Wii U is...
Unfortunately,
yeah.
that is correct.
So
The
wait,
Wii-
there's a drive where you can put a disc in the Wii U?
No, no.
Yeah.
Alright,
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
let me
No,
explain.
I thought it was just a giant remote control that made it easier.
No. The Wii U is its own console along with the thing.
I did
That's a
not know-
controller with a screen.
So it has a port that you can put a game in. So you can play
Yes.
a game on there without
Yes.
playing with the Wii. Oh, I
Right,
didn't know
it basically looks almost exactly like that.
Except it's got the
I'm
controller.
pointing to the Wii, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's just... It really
Pictures.
is. It's kind of the same. It's just a Wii with extra power. Extra power and a glorified remote control.
Yeah. Also the fact that
This is
apparently...
the most violent system ever.
Also, apparently, you can you can set it so you can play on the monitor itself and just be like, fuck the console right now and play here. But,
Happy Nintendo free advertising. Woo!
I mean, I've been thinking about getting a Wii U, but really there's no games for it right now at this time. The only thing I could say maybe, is when it comes out, Wind Waker HD, but I already have Wind Waker, like, right here, so there's no point. There's no physical point for me to get it.
Like when you wanted to trade your Wii in for a
Shut
game.
up! We are gonna not talk about that.
There's a game that I do want to try for the Wii U called Heroes 101 or something. It's made by Platinum Games, which is the same people who made like Bayonetta and Metal Gear Rising.
Oh yeah, also Bayonetta 2 is gonna be on the Wii U.
Yes, I know.
I might have to get that then.
But it does look very interesting. I love Platinum Games because sometimes I'm not a big fan of their gameplay, but they just know how to do action. Like, they fucking know how to do action. There's not a game that I know of that they don't know how to do action in.
Yeah.
Brent's turn.
Actually, before he goes, there's one thing I wanted to say. I'm surprised you have not said for a memorable moment in gaming. I'm surprised you haven't said Asora's Wrath yet.
I have not. It's not my turn.
I know, but like I think that would be like one of your like major moments because I remember you playing that for a good week and not talking to anybody.
So I guess we all know what my next moment's gonna be, huh?
Probably.
Since it's gonna be my turn next, and I couldn't
That's
just say
right.
It's actually worse.
Injustice.
All right, Brent, you're up.
Going back to first consoles and whatnot, my first, besides like the memorable games.
You just zoned
No.
off there.
No, because I was thinking technically my first was actually really cool because I got my dad worked this at whatever it was. I think at the time it was Toys R Us, and he got a system, but it was like a trial system for Nintendo. So it was like this big giant box that just had the 25 games built
Action
into
52?
it. No, it was an actual Nintendo thing.
Oh,
but
okay.
But it was actual Nintendo, like NES Nintendo. It was this giant box. I could choose whichever games I wanted, and it was really fun and exciting. What?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, actually,
yeah.
So,
I'm like,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So
It was. Sorry, I'm looking.
they had it was like that. I used to love playing the Popeye game, but that's not my moment. Probably my best moment is because the first console I had like actually
Jeff.
owned myself was the original PlayStation, so it was great because like Crash Bandicoot was the first game I remember beating by myself, and it was awesome. I loved the graphics at the time. Aku Aku was amazing. And then,
Sorry, what the hell is Aku Aku?
Aku. Okay.
Aku.
Oh, okay.
Aku
He's
the mask.
the
The-
mask.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And then he becomes like the super mask when you get 3 of them.
I totally
He's going
forgot
back.
about that.
Yeah.
And he goes like...
Alright, I know I said on my other my main channel, I know I said that I thought that Aku was annoying, but I'll be honest in saying I actually don't mind him as much as I make it out to be. I like the character.
Better
actually.
not mind him. He's like fucking saved your life.
Yeah, he's a lot
Oh
more
shit! A boulder hit me. I guess
he's
just okay. Aku
he's a
Aku
lot
saved
more
my life.
useful than Navi. Brent, continue.
You think? So anyway,
I don't know.
I kind of like even before they relinquished the rights, I felt like unfortunately started going downhill. Like I liked some of the extra bonuses they started putting in, like the extra moves and stuff. But the spin was the best. You just go around spinning things, and then I remember by the third you got I forget the actual fruit that they used in the thing, but you get like one of those fruit like launchers as a bazooka, and it was fun, but it just wasn't the same, and it made me sad. But Neocortex was one of the greatest, both puns and like just bad guys ever, and I loved him. He was the best.
Is it just me, by the way? And I kind of realized this when I was playing Crash Bandicoot not a while ago, but the voiceover for Cortex, that sounded a lot to me like one of the guys from Ren and Stimpy. I don't know why, because like
Maybe.
like I thought I heard him literally go, "You idiot!" I'm like, oh my god. You can look that up.
I don't know about that.
So-
But anyway, yes, let's
Oh.
go on to Jeff's for
Oh.
his next thing, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so apparently my next moment was chosen for me by
No,
our good friend John.
Honestly, it was a joke, but you can pick whatever you
So
want.
we can. No, I'll do Ashura's Wrath because I feel like it's underappreciated for what it is. It is, in my opinion, the best interactive anime, which I want because was it worth $60 at the time?
Oh. Sorry. Continue.
I don't know because there's a lot of anime DVDs that are just like, oh, here's one DVD that's $40. Like, really? All right, it's like just a couple episodes. All right, but Ashura's Wrath, I felt it made like big budget like movies that were out at the time just look like crap because there was so much action. Your first mission, your first thing you do, you jump off a spaceship in space and start punching the air to fight monsters in space.
Huh.
What? That just it was. I thought it was fantastic. I did not like that they had something called the true ending, and you had to buy it off DLC. I bought it because I love the game, and I'm so glad I did. Though
Wasn't Asura's Wrath Capcom?
yes,
That explains everything then, because they do that all the time with their DLC.
Yes, and they did the whole like S rank is better than A. I don't.
Yeah.
Still fucking.
It's just Capcom doing their usual
I
thing.
like Capcom though. They get out some good ideas. They sometimes
Big
their marketing.
man.
I like, yeah, they that's
Sometimes
the
their marketing kind of goes wonky there.
That-
But to get back on track,
thing. Of course.
to get back on track. Okay, that was me trying to be a train. Choo-choo.
Cho.
Anyway, I'm not funny. Ashura's Wrath is about.
Is though.
Ashura's Wrath was just about like you being some kind of cyborg demigod and your daughter gets stolen. And if you know anything about video games, if you're the main character of a game, don't steal their daughter. Like,
Or if you're Liam Neeson, don't steal their daughter.
yeah.
You're fucked.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say a general rule of thumb for life is to not steal people's daughters, but that's just me.
Hell
Hell
That's
hath
a
no
general
wrath. Hell
idea,
hath
yeah.
no wrath like a woman scorned. No, hell hath no wrath like a father whose daughter was
Fury.
taken.
Nick
No.
Fury. His daughter got taken. I don't fucking
I
know.
need
Anyway,
you to
continue.
stop talking now. Okay.
Relax, Nick Furious.
So like he dies a lot in that game, just like the cutscene. It's mostly like a visual. Like there's not a lot you can fuck up on in the game and lose. Like you can lose your health in some battles, but others you just kind of like can miss and still go through if you just want to watch the story, which I really like sometimes because I do like watching cutscenes. Even though there's some like Final Fantasy got a little crazy there.
What? I have nothing.
Okay. But just like you ever like in an anime like let's take Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, but as a kid, if you were really young watching Dragon Ball Z, you were doing the Kamehameha pose with Goku because you wanted to do it because you want to shoot lasers out of your freaking hands. Yes. This will allow you to get that feeling, like, okay, if you put into that mindset, like, I want to punch this guy, there's going to be a part where if you press triangle at the right time, or you press circle strongly enough, you're gonna feel like, I'm helping punch this asshole. And there are some assholes in this game, and I was so glad when I just like, oh, punch in the face. You want to ask a question?
Well, 2 comments. One, more or less instead of Kamehameha Fusion Dance. 2, what was your exact favorite moment from the game itself that you, and if I can remember correctly, the moment you got to it, you ranted and raved about it to all of us at work.
I cannot remember.
Tell a lie.
I remember that the DLC, there's no character in almost any universe that I can think of that could possibly beat Ashura, because he literally breaks through. He beats the god of the universe. And when I say god of the universe, I don't mean like
he punches reality.
Like he breaks through like 3 different realities. 3 different realities. Like I just can't picture anyone doing this. Like, oh well, Itachi could. No. He'd punch him in the face because he's that angry. He makes Kratos look like he's mildly upset.
Did you say Itachi?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
Ni-san.
So just there's but like at the ending of before the DLC credit things, there's a part where you're doing the ending cutscenes and you have to press circle, and it makes you work for it. Like both me and Kevin, you know, he's strong, he's athletic, he works out. He was sweating as much as I was, apparently, at the end boss, because you're just pressing circle like, I must defeat this bastard!
Looking like me when I'm playing a fighting game.
And you're just like, oh god! And you punch through it, and you're just like, that was satisfying. Not this was like, but like just beating this guy was like, I feel like I actually had to work for that, and that's what I like in video games. And it's weird because like people are like, well, you don't interact as much in this game. Like I admit that it's a more watching and it's an experience instead of a game. And I would suggest that they like make it a $40 that maybe once it went down to like $40 or something that you should pick it up. But I felt more exhausted after finishing this game than I have with most games, except save for Star Fox 64. But it's a very great experience, and I'm heard most reviewers and stuff say like if you don't feel like buying it, and don't feel like playing it, just go watch it, because it's just something you should experience, because it's there's great voice acting, fantastic visuals, and a mediocre story, but with great action. And my best moment was definitely where a character dies and something happens and you just rip everything apart.
You can spoil it. You know
okay,
that,
fine.
right? We did
Spoilers!
No, we did the spoiler tag. Right?
Okay, spoiler tags for Russia. So, this girl that looks like your daughter dies while you're trying to protect her. And you pretty much become the Kyuubi from Naruto, except you can blow people up with lasers from space. Like, they literally throw an armada at you that would make Warhammer 40k, like, cringe. And you're just like, bah!
I'm just gonna add a picture of that.
Okay.
Dr. Jeff Agonopus.
Anyway, but that is a good moment. I have a couple more, but we'll
go around to that.
Anyway.
Honestly, from that game, I'm just gonna say, and this is the spoiler, my favorite line from that entire game is just the whole, "This is what you get for making my daughter cry."
Oh yes, that's
my favorite bit of the entire game.
2 seconds. Yes, there at the ending there, you get shut up, John. He pretty much says like, I don't want to be a god. I don't care that I'm a god. I'm not going to I'm not going to pray to anyone. I'm not going to have anyone pray to me, because I just want to live with my family. But the reason he attacked God, like God pretty much like, here, you can rule over this side of the universe. I'm going to go do this somewhere else. I'll leave you alone. You'll never see me again. And he punches him in the face. And he's like, the reason I did all this, everything I did, whether I destroyed the monster in the world, saved the world and everything, I didn't care about any of that. You made my daughter cry. you're getting fucked up for that.
And I just imagined the moment he saw it, he's just like,
But actually, there's a better
Family!
moment. There's a better moment with me and Kevin.
But we'll get
because
to that. Oh, is it?
we fought
Is it the
Ryu?
I was there for that.
We fought Ryu where we couldn't get hit, and we always got so close. And then he'd do like his super move that was unavoidable.
The best.
And Kevin had to walk away
Yeah.
and beat the crap out of a punching bag.
Like it was
because he was so angry.
It was like he got to the end, and as he got knocked out, he just slammed the controller down, walks away, and all of a sudden we just hear from the other room. Obviously not like as light and sounding like fapping, but obviously it was like punching the shit out of this punching bag that Jeff had in his garage, and we're like, what the fuck is that?
I knew what it was, but I was just smiling and the looks on your face just like, what the fuck was that? And
it was
finally
amazing. Kevin
goes to pick up Brent, and he comes back, and I just beat Ryu.
And he was still like, you
son
He's like, you son of a bitch.
And Brent's like, I'm a good luck charm. And it was just like a glorious friendship
like,
moment because we're all just like, we must kill Ryu.
Okay.
Okay, now it's your turn. I'm sorry. I just remember that moment.
So, what do we... I'm trying to think exactly. What do we... Childhood moments?
Just a great moment in video game. Like, you remember this moment that interacted with you. Not just, like, in the game. That you're like, yes, that's great. But a moment that interacted with you.
Alright, I'm gonna have to take... I'm gonna have to cheat right now and take 2. And we can do this, too. Like, we can just go 2, but... the one...
Sorry, kill him. Can I kill him? Go on.
No, alright. Fine, I'll go with 1. But, honestly, and I just beat this again, like, maybe yesterday? I want to say, yeah, I beat it yesterday. But this is also, like, something I have been a longtime fan of the Tony Hawk video games. Well, okay. Everything up to Tony Hawk's Project 8. Proving Ground was meh. Tony Hawk Ride can suck my dick. That is an awful video game.
Because it's a video
game. It's also a plastic board, so that's not possible. But it is an awful video game. But yeah,
yes,
Tony Hawk's Tony Hawk's Project 8 was like the last good one for me. Hang on, Jeffrey. But yeah, it was like the Tony Hawk games were one of those like series of games where I would basically, like, since I was in school, like, there was a local video store that got all the games early. And my mom, I had to bother her and be like, Mom, while I'm in school, can you please rent this game for me? And she would. And I would basically play it to the point of I would end up, like, keeping it out for an extra week and not paying because I love the game way too much. And then I realized, oh shit, it's got to go back. And that would be like I need it more. But anyway, the game I want to talk about is Tony Hawk's Underground. And Tony Hawk's Underground is probably, to this day, one of my favorite games of all time. And the moment I have to get from that is... And I don't know, Jeff, if you remember it. Did you play it?
Yes, I actually spent... Like, one day I got my PS2 memory card got corrupted. And I got sick one day, and I'm just like, I'm beating this game. And I played through the entire day. From dawn till dusk, I played Tony Hawk, and I beat it, and just like satisfying ending. Now
there are 2 parts from this game that I love. One, and Jeff, you're gonna know immediately what I'm talking about. The McTwist to end all McTwists.
Yes.
The helicopter. Just as soon as you hit that helicopter and it slow-mo's over, and you're just like, holy fucking shit! And the second part to that is the final showdown with Eric, when you have to do that huge 41-point line.
Yeah.
All around New Jersey, which apparently New Jersey is like the size of Long Island, apparently, in that game. But yeah, you have to go all around New Jersey, jump from like rail to rail, collecting all the random fists that are in the air. I don't know why New Jersey had a bunch of fists like that and you had to collect them, but anyway. And
it's a video game.
But yeah, after... Anyway, and like at the end, just that final cutscene is so satisfying. Well, the cutscene where you are...
Where he's bitching at you and
he's
you're just like,
bitching,
you
you're
walk
just like-
away. You're like,
You just walk away,
I
you
just
just
proved I beat
throw
you.
the tape in there, you're like, mine. Though, actually, wait, did you get the alternative ending?
I don't know what
The alternative ending is, it doesn't, I think it's like after you've beaten the line already, like you've done it once already. From that point on, it's like, what do you say, you versus me, in one final showdown, and you just punch him in the face and walk away.
I don't remember.
That's the one I remember. It was just like, what do you say, you and me, one last duel, one final chance. Walk away, take tape. And you just see him laying on the car like, whoa. But yeah, though that game is like one of my favorite games to this day, and I remember, and it's just, that was a staple on my adolescence. Brent, you're up.
Pass. No.
Like, this bitch is not doing this. No.
So, I don't know if there's any real like defining moments. But one thing that we're going to eventually have on the channel, and it's going to be fun, because it was one of the first games that I got to play, and when I was actually playing with other people, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually have friends, and that makes this game better. Who would have thought friendship could be useful for something important like video games? So... I really, really enjoy the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games because they're just fun. And, like, there are games right now that are like DC Universe and everything where you get to make your own character, and that's great and everything. But, honestly, there's just something to be said for being, like, an actual created character and just going around using that person as your own personal wrecking ball.
When we played, Jeff was, I forget, who were you?
I was Luke Cage.
You were Luke Cage.
That was amazing.
Man. I just referred to you as Terry Crews the entire time.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Terry Crews needs to play Luke Cage in the Avengers movie, in Avengers 2, if that's the case.
That would be nice.
Or Avengers 3, if there's a Luke Cage movie.
But yeah, it's just, those games are fantastic, and I very much enjoy them. And I guess if there was, it would be like a defining moment. I kind of like at the end, where, again, spoilers for anyone who actually still cares about a game that came out this long ago. Which I know some do. So, and if you want to play it, good for you, because it's a great game. But just like the end boss of the second one is a cyborg, well, it's a Sentinel Nick Fury. And he's got like these ridiculous add-ons and powers that like they kind of just experimented on him and are like, hey Nick Fury, we're going to take you and make you a robot.
Wait,
and
what?
this is like... This is the white Nick Fury, and not like this was all before the movies happened and they stole Samuel Jackson's personality and looks without telling him, and then released the comic book, and then they're like, hey, you mind if we use your likeness? And he's like, well, the comic's already out. And they're like, yeah, it is. But that's another story. But yeah, the Ultimate Alliance games are really cool. The gameplay's fun, and then like you just have the friendship aspect where you go around as your own personal team, which will probably, in our case, once we get to Ultimate Alliance 2, it'll probably most likely be a team of, like, Thor, Hulk, maybe Spider-Man. Deadpool's gonna be there. Luke Cage might be there. Other people that are in the game, like Black Panther, but I can't get him because he was downloadable content, and Activision sucks. They let their licenses expire, and then Marvel is taking over, so now they definitely won't do it.
How'd you do that?
So yeah, there was
belong?
that, and
That?
I've been really mad about that for a while. It was nice to vent out a bit, cause I missed out on Magneto and Black Panther and this and that and the other thing, and it made me really
Brent,
sad.
I gotta be honest with you right now. This actually is not a podcast. This is an intervention right now about your anger towards Marvel.
No, I'm not mad at Marvel.
No,
Marvel's
you need
good.
to,
Activision.
all right, Activision, you need
is
to,
the devil.
It's your anger towards Activision. You need to let that go.
I think we should finally tell him, Brent, that this is actually not an intervention for you towards Activision. It's actually an intervention towards you versus fighting games.
Oh God, it's all a ruse. Le ruse, le ruse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, look at that spike.
That spike.
But yeah, Activision is Satan, and their Call of Duty games are destroying America. But anyway, Jeff, you were saying?
Okay, would you rather hear another Donkey Kong 64 game, Borderlands moment, or a Skyrim moment?
Can I say something before? Can I just say something really quick?
Is it something about Call of Duty?
I was going to say, I read an article actually about how Call of Duty is ruining the modern military shooter. Because apparently, like, it's not Battlefield that is actually the thing. I mean, Battlefield's trying to bring it back, but
we need
like
Battlefront is
Battlefield,
what we need.
Battlefield. I know we need Battlefront, but a lot of people are saying now that Red Orchestra is actually trying to rebuild the World War II military shooter, and that is something I'd like to see, some more World War II games. Granted, Call of Duty has dived way too much into it, but I'd like to see a game like Red Orchestra actually bring in a squad like I imagine they have a squad system, but like actually where it's like a vital necessity to have a squad system.
Why didn't Call of Duty just like make a zombie game where you actually have an ending?
Because Activision, Jeff.
I'm just saying, like,
that's right. Activision is the devil. The devil. The devil.
There's a lot of video game companies that are the devil, but that's not the point.
That's not
like
true.
EA Games. Who
Everything's the devil to you, Jeffrey.
No, it's so funny because you like. Think about it. Who takes online polls the most? Mostly people who play online games and do stuff and have time in between loading screens. So there's really no reason. But it's funny because it's true.
Can we tell that story really quick about his PS3?
Maybe. Just wait. So there's that. But like, I forget which. I think it was IGN or one of them. But there was like a poll of what was the worst company in America. It wasn't just video games.
It was the consumerist.
It was like just any company. And EA Games won the worst company because of the whole SimCity debacle and everything before that. And like it was really funny because the other things that were on there were like BP and stuff like that, you know, places that have actually physically destroyed the world. But no, EA Games, because they're just that horrible. So horrible, in fact, that their head guy, the CEO, dropped out a few, weeks ago. He resigned, of course, but, I mean, it was all nice. But it was actually kind of funny because everyone was still, in hellfire about the whole SimCity fiasco. And he's like, well, I think we've done a good job here, and I'm going to duck out right now and let this guy take the place. Not because I'm afraid of all you people on the internet
jumps
with
out
your
window,
pitchforks, but because it's time for this guy to have a shot. Okay, bye, I'm taking my millions. And then he left.
Well, I mean, I have to say, that thing you were talking about, the poll, that was actually way before the SimCity debacle.
No, you're thinking of a different one.
No, they did this, I think it was 2 years ago. That was actually when it happened.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that happened this year.
All right.
EA Games is that bad. They just keep getting the worst company.
Okay, enough hellfire.
So Skyrim, you were saying?
Okay, so would you rather hear a Donkey Kong 64 story, a Skyrim story, or a Borderlands 2 story?
Ooh, let's do Borderlands.
Borderlands?
I'm liking the Borderlands.
Okay. My best Borderlands 2 moment, because honestly, Borderlands 2 would not be good without other people, which is what they made it. Gearbox is a hit or miss company.
They truly are. They've got... It's all right, Borderlands? Excellent. Duke Nukem forever.
Yeah.
All right, Borderlands 2. Awesome. That's fantastic. Aliens, Colonial
They have other
Marines.
games I just can't remember off the top of my head. They have some other good games, but
They
have some...
port.
They do have some pretty... definitely have some bad games that people have just been like, why do you exist? And then you have other games like Borderlands 2, which is just... That was my 2012 game of the year because it was just... So good. And it was definitely the people you play with, because I played with Scott and Brent mostly.
Yeah.
And they're crazy. And a game where you can be crazy people. Brent was a healer. I was the guy who gave out free ammo, and Scott was the guy who just
shot everything.
Yeah, he picked up everything. Like Scott would just like make sure we got would go around to every little thing and pick it up. And I'd just be like, okay, I'm gonna walk 3 steps. He's like, don't pick up the gun. I'm like, I don't need the gun. Pick it up and sell it for money.
Oh,
I don't care about the do it. And I'm like, okay, and then it would actually help me, and I'd be like, that was a good thing to do.
Was it you guys who told me about the one town where like you went in and just everything started to steal your stuff?
Oh yes. I think it's a town that I don't even think you have to go through for the story mode.
Yeah, it's just you walked there.
It has the main villain's girlfriend, running the town, and there's so many things called tunnel rats or something like that.
That was
rats.
Oh, those things.
And we just went in there, and we just were leaving, and we're like, what the fuck happened? We lost more than half our money, and I believe one of my favorite guns was missing, and I don't even remember how, because those creatures, those enemies will come up to you, punch you, and steal something. And even if you kill them, like there's sometimes a glitch where they just like it turns into money, and especially if it's like something that you really were having fun with at the time, you're just like, what do you mean my gun was gone? You sons of bitches.
I just imagine you just like, all right, let me get out my sniper.
But there's just like some like it's great because some things that would sell for more money are actually worse than some of the things you actually have, so you have to be very... but going back to my moment was during... I think we were at Brent's house, actually, where I brought over my system, and it was actually, I think, New Year's Day, and we played with Scott, Brent, and our good friend Halama Prime, and we were facing one of those invincible bosses, like, I think they brought them down to, like, level 30, because they're ridiculous. And what was it called? Something the Invincible.
Dalgar.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised.
Girl.
Okay, 1 or 2 moments, because I just remembered another moment that I have to do. Sorry, but we were playing, and me and Scott have been trying to beat this thing forever. And we just jump in there. I'm just providing ammo and distracting because my Gunzerker is the tank, and he literally goes, "Fuck you, come over here." I'm just like, "Yes, fight me! I'm invincible!" Ow, 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 ow. Brent's like, "I'm going to heal you." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then then I strategy like Scott does damage, I take the hits and distract him and run away, and then his robot also distracts him. And Halama Prime pulled the best move where he dropped the turret gun, which is also shielded, and this giant monster that grew to like the size of King Kong got caught up in it. Like it literally, like its foot was caught in it. Its foot was caught in it. It kept walking, and we could hit it, but it couldn't move because of a glitch. And we're just like, moment.
It was like, shoot it with everything we've got.
If people like One Piece. There's this moment in One Piece. There's a moment where this zombie giant is like caught in something, and the entire crew of the Straw Hat Pirates have this moment where their eyes sparkle and they all look like demons, and you just like cut out, and you hear the monster go like ah, and like the zombies on the island like, what the fuck are they doing? And it's pretty funny. Like that was our moment. It's like, oh.
Lock and load, boys. We got ourselves some dinner.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
the second moment was just the boss. Like if there's spoilers. You kill. What was the bird's name that you fight? Anyway, the Mordecai's bird, whose name escapes me.
I don't remember.
He, unfortunately, Handsome Jack grows him into a monster, and you have to you're trying to like pause, like calm him down so you can capture him. And Handsome Jack explodes him, and it's kind of an emotional moment for a very silly game. But if you go back to that spot, you're like, okay, usually can go and fight bosses to get the stuff again. And we go back there and we're like, because we're doing another quest that we missed something. We're just walking through there. We're like, oh look, the gate's closed. I wonder why. I guess what we have to do is the fuck is that? And the monster's name is the son of Mothra, or close to. And we both start singing that because just Godzilla fan, just like Mothra. I mean, we killed it obviously because we were just like, yes, this is easier and it's great. It's the same boss, but we're just like, excitement, and that was a moment where we're just like, yes,
enchantment.
Okay, I have one final moment that I want to bring up, and it's a universal moment when I say that, and it's from actually the same night of the Borderlands. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Just that entire night of debauchery and alcohol and us.
I feel like whenever we play All Stars together, something goes wrong, and we all just have fun.
No, no, you know what went wrong? Kevin was hammered. That's what was wrong with it. Because, okay, to preface this, he can't defend it. He was pretty drunk. But, what happened was I want to say like a container, or almost like a small bottle of Long Island iced tea, or something like that. He had Long Island iced tea with him, and he was taking a couple of shots. And on top of that, he had a beer and a bunch of other stuff, and
He's trying to get drunk. Yes.
Yes, because it was New Year's, and Auld Lang Syne. Would you have some marijuanas with me?
No. Go on with the story.
That
Okay.
was to snort the marijuanas and
Get
inject
on
the
with it.
heroines.
Alright, so yeah, I remember it was me, Scott, Jeff, and Kevin. And Jeff was constantly... Okay, Jeff, when he plays... and if you know by the Shapupa Showdown, Jeff plays as Big Daddy. That's his thing. That's his thing. He just...
I'm a Bioshock fan. Yes.
Obviously. He plays Big Daddy,
Bioshock.
gets his level all the way up to 3, drowns the fuck out of everyone.
But that wasn't the moment, though.
That was one of the moments.
I think you're thinking of
When-
Heihachi.
Yes, that was it actually. Sorry. It's Big Daddy and Heihachi.
And the moment you're thinking of is Heihachi's level 3.
Heihachi's level 3 is when you strap everyone to a rocket and send them off, I think, into the sun. So, what made this perfect was, by some drunken, magical New Year's luck, I shit you not, Jeff managed to get, in the span of 5 minutes, the level 3 move 20 times in a row.
You think he'd be exaggerating, but he's not.
Because
I would do strong attacks, and they'd all be like, okay, we're focusing on the thing is, like, if they try and focus on me, they'll get tangled up with fighting each other.
And then
they'll
doesn't
just
work.
like get distracted, and I'll drop down and be like, bye, and
then,
like, son of a bitch, and they'll like get crammed in.
And what made it perfect?
Because they were just so angry because I couldn't kill anyone with like the bear or the level 1. The only way I could kill all of them was with the level 3. And they're just like, how the fuck do you keep doing that?
No, I wasn't. I was too busy laughing too hard at the fact that Kevin, sitting directly next to me, has a vein popping out of his head because he's getting so aggressively angry due to the fact he's had so much booze in his system, he's threatening to hit you with a chair.
Yes.
It was quite delightful.
Kevin's very imaginative when it comes to threats. Like if you go watch our Shapupu Showdown, it actually ends with his line of, "I need a gallon of bleach and some wire."
I think so. But anyway, what happened was that wasn't the point of it. But like, when Kevin gets Kevin tends to get angry when playing video games, but when he's drunk, he's
It's a
timed that by a new awful thing to see.
Okay, get on with it.
Okay, no, but honestly,
skip a bit, brother.
Skip a bit, brother Maynard. No, but Kevin he takes the cake when it comes to being absolutely angry shit-faced. And witnessing that in person, with the combination of Jeff pissing him off even more, by sending him off into the sun with a rocket is
20
amazing.
times.
Is amazing. I couldn't breathe.
It was,
I could not breathe.
it was one of those moments.
I couldn't breathe after 3. I thought I was gonna die after 5.
16 later,
I'm just
he's rolling on the floor, blue face.
yeah.
Um,
Oh my god.
Like a Smurf.
We really need to do that again for next New Year's.
okay.
We need to do All Stars. We need to do Tekken Tag. We need to do Injustice. Those
Anyway,
are the 3.
let's see. Go on with yours now, Brent, if you have another.
I guess this will be the last one. 'cause
Yeah,
we're
this is
hitting
gonna
an
be our
hour.
last one. I'm just going quick.
I want to go.
What?
You're gonna go soon. You're the last. You're the
Oh, I'm
one-
sorry. I thought you meant like Brent
No,
was the
it's
last
gonna
one.
same order like Brent and then.
No,
You.
no, I am the last one. You went first.
Oh,
Okay, go.
Sorry.
Sky Captain of
we have-
Yesteryear.
Don't worry, John wants to do like 50 more podcasts in the next like 2 days, so we'll be
And the
fine.
next. So I was thinking every week. So.
no, shh. So yeah, one of the more recent ones, Pokemon Black and White, I really liked because it hit. One of the things that always pisses me off when people are like, "Oh, all the Pokemon are unimaginative. Like you got a garbage bag Pokemon. That's stupid.
Rubbish.
Oh, it's an ice cream cone. That's original." Might I point you to such great creations such as Voltorb and Muck
Eh.
and Ekans. I mean, I personally love Ekans because Arbok is one of my favorite, like, non-super ultra Pokemon. But the fact is... So yeah, that
I'm sorry, I
happened.
had to do
But yeah, no. But like, people that are always there are some people that take generationalism too far and nostalgia too far. And like,
Yeah.
oh, the first game was the
Okay.
best ever. It's
No.
like, well, it was actually remade, and you can actually did in fact get better.
I have to say though also because I noticed he was pointing to
the photo. Yeah, I'm sorry.
the photo. Oh, I thought you were pointing to that.
No.
And I was gonna be like, well, yeah, because also like I know you can't see it in there, but obviously, and when I say in there, I mean in the YouTube
It's a
video.
like
I have the Charmander thing, which I have that mainly because it was at MagFest, and 2, that is like my original starter, so that also holds sort of a memory to me.
Charmander was also my original starter.
So
Squirtle.
Yeah, Jeff chose Squirtle. But anyway, so the Black and White, basically the thing that I wanted, like the moment that like got me was the very end. Again, spoilers, but I mean endings are kind of meant to do that. The first one is really, it's not even like something that happens during the story. It's just a random guy you talk to, and it's one of the reasons why it's so great in these types of games to talk to everyone and see what they have to say. Is you talk to this one guy, and he's like, "We're just waiting for the order to unleash the virus into the PC system so that they all release the Pokemon." And I just think, like,
Wait,
this
what?
guy, one of Team Plasma, has a virus that he's ready to inject into the computer so that it sets off every one of Bill's and the other guys' PCs that collect the Pokemon and store them, just all over the world, and release the Pokemon simultaneously. Which then brings everyone down to whatever they're holding on to them now, and just like releasing and freeing everything. And I don't know, that just got me. And then they have the final battle between the 7 sages, which
That
are
was
the bad
awesome.
guys, or some of the bad guys, and then the gym leaders, where the bad guys are finally in a Pokemon game. They're still going to use Pokemon, but they're like, you know what? We're just going to stop you. And we don't care that you're a little kid and we're 7 grown men. We're going to fight you all at once. You're going to die, and we're just going to be happy about it.
Not
And
if
then
we could
all of
help
a
it.
sudden, just all the gym leaders except for the first 3 come out, and they're like the first 3 from the very first gym in Black and White. But all the other gym leaders come out, and they're like, yeah, no, that's not going to fly. So then, like, there's just this, you don't see any of the battles and everything, but
They're
like,
just
the
staring at
music
each other.
changes and everything, you just know, like, yeah.
This shit's going down.
The good guys just won. And it's just great, because then you go and you have your ultimate battle and everything. But just that, like, one moment I thought was one of the most powerful moments they ever had in one of the Pokemon games, and it was really cool.
Speaking of like powerful moments in Pokemon games, I just gotta say, like, Pokemon Platinum actually had me when it comes to that. I know. All I'm gonna say is when you enter the Dark Dimension and you have that stare down with Giratina as he's in his like shadow form.
Yeah.
And you're just looking at him like, what the fuck is this?
Oh,
That's
look.
still one of the moments that like, this is actually really dark. And what was that you said? Apparently, you said this about. Apparently, it's different comparing to like, Diamond and Platinum about the villain in that game. How you, like, realize that it's actually dark, and he's apparently, like, after the game you realize he's left in that dimension.
Oh, yeah. Like, in Diamond and Pearl, like, they really don't go into the dark dimension, so it's kind of just like, hey, I've got this and this and everything. But at the end of Platinum, you kind of realize it gets a little darker when there's no actual cutscene or anything showing that Cyrus, the main boss of Team Plasma, like, not Plasma, Galactic, kind of just never gets out. Like, he gets, like, attacked by Giratina, and then you fight Giratina, and they kind of never show Cyrus again. And when you leave and Giratina leaves, it kind of closes off the dark dimension. So there's just Cyrus sitting on a rock floating somewhere at the opposite, like, negative zone of our world. And it's kind of just funny.
Creepy.
It's really creepy. But it's also kind of
I like that the Pokemon games, they have like, oh yeah, by the way, they're these kid games, except there's like a moment of, this is fucking dark.
Well, yeah, when as you're growing up, a lot of companies, which like Pokemon do, which is great, where they try and appeal to those who are also like following them from when the first Pokemon game came out. Now, quickly, my moment since you
can go
just
as long as you want.
It actually has nothing to do with playing the game. Skyrim, I was an orc, and I'm like, okay, I don't think a lot of people are going to choose an orc, but like, you know, I'm sure everyone's going to be like a Nord or something. I went around to all my friends, and every single one of them who played Skyrim was a different character. And I'm like, that's so fucking cool. Like, there's so much diversity in my friends, and I just like imagine, like, just the 50, like, I'm sitting around in our weekly get-together, I'm like, imagining everyone as a different character there. I'm like, this is the best guild.
Lord!
Best guild ever.
Yeah, we had Nord, a Dark Elf, a Red Guard.
We had everything. We
What
literally
were you,
had.
Brent?
Yeah,
He was Dark Elf.
Oh, he was Dark Elf.
Magical
Kevin was
powers
a
unite.
Kevin was
A Red Guard.
Yes.
Red Guard. Andrew
Was a lizard guy.
Who was? Did we have
Yeah,
a
he was an
Khajiit?
Argonian.
Kevin
think-
Martin was.
Kevin was the
Oh.
kitty.
Kevin Martin was a Khajiit.
Dova kitty.
Yeah.
Meowva kid.
Anyway,
Sorry.
Right.
Rio.
So
it
anyway,
was just really cool.
it was really cool, and I actually think one of my favorite moments now is this podcast, guys. I
Oh.
just love you
We're
so
not
much.
gaming. You fail.
Oh,
Alright.
it's true.
Well-
Anyway, yeah, we're gonna end this now.
All I was gonna say is before we go, just since we have a new format sort of thing now, what we're gonna be doing, and I mentioned it to you guys last week, but what we're gonna be doing every week is, and now as you mentioned, I was the one who hosted the last episode, the first episode rather, and Brent is the one who hosted this episode. So
really
now
by
we,
host, we kind of mean moderator.
yeah, the moderator.
Basically making sure people don't actually talk over themselves as much and other people as much. It's one
Sorry.
of those things.
So now the moderator is Jeff.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Jeff. Jeff is our next person, which means not only does he get to moderate and host and close the show, but he also gets to choose next week's topic.
Well, no,
You don't have to announce it now.
He chose he chose the topic, so technically you get to choose the topic. You get to choose the topic for this one. He's moderating it.
I mean, like, I threw out the topic and he chose it.
Yeah,
Okay, so then you get the topic then.
I just said that. Anyway, so this has been Dinnerman Podcast with Brent.
John,
This guy.
say
Who's
your
Jeff?
name.
Our good buddy Jeff. Hey, Jeffrey. Hey,
Jeffrey.
Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, Jeffrey.
So I'm just in hell.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
This actually just broadcasting from hell.
And we're your friendly neighborhood dinner man.
Good night, everybody.
Good knocked.